Russia's shadow on the Red Sea. In a world where global power is shifting, one region has quietly become the new front line, the Horn of Africa. A crossroads between Africa and the Middle East, the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean, this land is now at the heart of Russia's 21st century ambitions. From naval bases to shadow armies, from gold mines to grain diplomacy, Russia is weaving its influence into Africa's most strategic coastline. But why here? Why now? And what does it mean for the balance of power between East and West? Russia's shadow on the Red Sea, the battle for the Horn of Africa. The Horn of Africa is one of the most valuable pieces of real estate on Earth. It guards the Bab el-Mandeb Strait choke point through which nearly 10% of global trade passes. Whoever controls these waters wields enormous influence over Europe, Asia, and Africa. For decades, this region has attracted empires: Britain, France, the US, and more recently, China. But today, a new power is entering the arena: Russia. While headlines focus on Ukraine and Europe, Moscow's eyes are firmly on Africa's east coast, a gateway for trade, military projection, and diplomatic leverage. To understand Russia's interest today, we have to go back to the Cold War. The Soviet Union once had deep ties with African liberation movements in Ethiopia, Angola, Mozambique, and beyond. Soviet pilots trained African air forces, while Moscow supplied weapons and ideology. But when the USSR collapsed, that influence vanished overnight. Now, 3 decades later, Vladimir Putin's Russia is trying to rebuild it, this time with less ideology and more pragmatism, power, profit, and ports. In 2019, Russia hosted its first Russia-Africa summit in Sochi. 43 African heads of state attended, a clear signal that Moscow was back on the continent. Sudan is the jewel in Russia's Horn of Africa strategy. A country torn by conflict but rich in gold and blessed with a strategic coastline. In 2017, Moscow and Khartoum signed a deal to build a Russian naval base at Port Sudan, capable of hosting nuclear-powered ships and up to 300 Russian personnel. This would give Russia its first permanent naval base in Africa since the Cold War. But the plan hit turbulence after Sudan's 2021 coup and the ongoing civil conflict between rival generals. Still, Russia hasn't given up. Its presence remains, just more shadowy. The Wagner Group, Russia's infamous private military company, embedded itself deeply in Sudan. Through local companies like Mero Gold, Wagner helped secure gold mines that funnel wealth back to Moscow, sidestepping Western sanction. Wagner fighters also trained Sudanese forces and allegedly helped suppress uprisings, a pattern repeated across the continent. Even after Wagner's leader Yevgeny Prigozhin's death in 2023, Moscow didn't retreat. The group was absorbed into the Russian Defense Ministry's new Africa Corps, ensuring continuity under Kremlin control. Next door, tiny Eritrea has emerged as one of Russia's most loyal allies in Africa. When most nations condemned the invasion of Ukraine, Eritrea voted against the UN resolution, standing firmly with Moscow. For Russia, Eritrea offers what it craves most: access to deep-water ports like Assab and Massawa and defense ties. In recent years, high-level delegations have discussed port access, energy cooperation, gateways to the Red Sea. While no base has been publicly confirmed, analysts believe Moscow is laying the groundwork quietly, cultivating a partner that shares its anti-Western stance. Eritrea's isolation from the West makes it a perfect fit for Russia, no questions asked diplomacy. Ethiopia, Africa's second most populous country, is the powerhouse of the Horn and a key target for Russian influence. During the Cold War, Ethiopia was a major Soviet ally. That connection never disappeared. Today, Moscow is rebuilding those ties with arms deals, training programs, and political coordination. Amid the Tigray conflict, when Western governments criticized Addis Ababa's actions, Russia stood by the Ethiopian government, offering diplomatic support and continued military cooperation. In 2023, Ethiopia and Russia signed new defense and technical agreements. Russian officers now train Ethiopian forces, while Russian companies pursue energy and mining contracts. For Russia, Ethiopia provides something no other Horn country can: regional legitimacy and scale. While Russia eyes the Red Sea, one tiny nation remains just out of reach: Djibouti. Already home to US, French, Chinese, and Japanese bases, it's the most militarized real estate in the world. Djibouti has politely declined Russian overtures, wary of upsetting Western and Gulf allies. For now, Moscow operates from the sidelines, watching, waiting, and occasionally sending warships through the region under the banner of anti-piracy patrols. In Somalia and South Sudan, Russian activity remains limited, though arms sales and informal contacts continue. Russia isn't alone in chasing influence in the Horn of Africa. China built a massive military base in Djibouti. The US maintains Camp Lemonnier. The UAE operates ports across the Red Sea. Turkey has troops in Somalia. But unlike these powers, Russia's strategy is leaner, based on military access, arms, and elite protection services rather than huge infrastructure spending. In exchange for loyalty, Moscow offers weapons, training, and regime security, a deal many leaders in unstable states find hard to resist. Yet this comes with risks. In places like Sudan and the Central African Republic, Wagner's brutal tactics have sparked backlash. Some African citizens now question whether Russia is a partner or a predator. Still, as Western nations withdraw or hesitate, Russia fills the vacuum. One port, one gold mine, one security contract at a time. The Horn of Africa stands at a crossroads, where history, geography, and power collide. For Russia, it's more than just access to the sea. It's a stage to project strength, defy isolation, and challenge the West. The battle for influence here isn't fought with tanks. It's fought with bases, deals, and shadows. And as the world looks elsewhere, Russia is quietly anchoring itself on Africa's edge, shaping the next chapter in the story of global power. This is the new great game, and the Horn of Africa is the prize.